Hello, beautiful people. Today I wanted to talk about how to stop thinking during your meditation. This probably is one of the most common questions that beginners encounters, even intermediates, in their practice. And today I wanted to address it with my own experience. Um, First of all, you do not have to stop thinking. We meditate in whatever state of mind we are. Even if our mind is racing, that's probably the best way and time to sit and meditate. Having said that, at some point we have to come in terms with our thoughts, and thoughts will inevitably come up. So here's the thing, in my experience and in my teaching, you don't want to cut off thoughts, as my teacher says. You want to get rid, we want to get rid of our attachment to our thoughts. That's what gives them power. So it would be a wrong thing to do to really try hard to stop thinking. Thoughts are not the enemy. Thoughts are a normal thing, like clouds in the sky. They come and they go. What is important is our relationship with our thoughts. So when we start meditating, we want to focus, if you focus on your breath, we want to focus on our out breath from our hara, which is about 2 inches below our navel. And we focus on our breathing, whatever breathing pattern we are given. And at some point, obviously, thoughts will come up. Am I doing this right? Something happened before the meditation, so on and so forth. So we don't want to get rid of them, because the more we fight our thoughts, that's probably lesson number one. The harder we fight our thoughts, the harder they attack us in a way. The harder they're to get rid of, so to speak. So it's there. Our thoughts are not the enemy. We don't want to completely get rid of our thoughts. We just want to change our relationships with them. And the way we do that is, obviously, when we are practicing meditation, thoughts come up. We see them, we experience them, we'll let them go. We don't get attached with them. We don't fight with them. We don't indulge with them. We just observe them, and then we go back to our breathing practice, or whatever form of meditation you're doing. And the more we do it, the easier it is to focus on our meditation. Basically, we don't want to get rid of thoughts. We just want to focus on our practice. That's the most important thing. And like I said, it's like clouds in the sky. They come and they go. And we go back always to our meditation practice. Good thoughts come up. We see them from our peripheral. We go back to our breath. Angry thoughts come up. We experience them, see them. We go back immediately to our breath. Joyous, seductive thoughts come up. We sort of see them from our peripheral, and we go to our practice. That is really essentially the most important thing and the most effective thing. Once again, thoughts are not our enemies. They're just part of the practice. And lesson number two, the more we practice this, our days, weeks, months, years even, yes, years, we notice that there are pockets of complete stillness or no thought come up, rise up. So when we stop thinking even for a second or two, that moment increases, and we see pockets of it. Maybe 10 seconds I didn't have any thoughts. Or maybe have 15 seconds I didn't have any thoughts arising. So the more we practice, the more those times of quote unquote no thought arise. And we don't want to really seek them out, and we don't want to indulge with them. We just want to be aware of them. So there's moments it's like I see them as a bubble. So there are bubbles of like kind of no thought. We kind of sit in that, on those bubbles, not physically obviously, but in our awareness. And the more we do that, the bigger they grow. The bigger they grow in depth, also the bigger they grow in duration. And it's like chains, one link to another, and that basically constitutes more or less our practice. So the no thought times expand. And but that's not really the goal. The goal is to practice in whatever state we are in. and to go deeper in our practice, really. Practice is about awareness. It's not about joy, happiness, peace. Those things are wonderful things, but we just want to continue our practice. And the more we do it, the more we go back to our practice, the further all those moments of no thoughts arrive. Having said that, there's a third lesson there, and that is, as I said, the thoughts are not the enemy, but also let's go deeper. The more we do it, the more we see themes in our thoughts. That was the case with me. So there are thoughts that keep coming up. Maybe you have some sort of resentment from somebody that did you wrong 15 years ago. Maybe it is something someone cut you off in the traffic. Whatever it is. But the more we practice, the more we work with our thoughts, really, the more we see them clearly, the more we realize there's a theme there, right? There's a theme. So we, at some point, we can do it either during our meditation at some point, if the thoughts persist. This is number 3. We want to really do the felt sense. We want to go deeper in the thought. So these thoughts keep arising, and there's usually a sensation in our stomach, in our body, wherever, and then we want to focus on that. We want to focus on that sensation, on those thoughts. We don't want to argue with them. We don't want to really intellectuals with them. We don't want to talk with them. We just want to feel them. And I've made a video already about practicing focusing, or the felt sense. You're more than welcome to use that. But the thing is, we want to go deeper to the source of thought, which is usually some sort of feeling stuck in our body. For me, it was complex trauma. Negative feelings would come up, and they would be very persistent. And my teacher told me to do the felt sense, and that changed everything. So in a way, we want to practice non-attachment to our thoughts, but also we don't want to really cast them out, because they're pointing sometimes the way to what we need to work on next. That's lesson number 3. So you want to really, at some point, if they persist, you want to do the felt sense while you're meditating, and really feel the sensation of those thoughts. Where are they in the body? How does it feel? You want to think not intellectually, but with your gut. Just see it. And it's amazing how, with time and practice, we go back to the very earliest memory of that thought, where it came up. Maybe we experienced some sort of lack. Maybe we had a difficult upbringing. Maybe one of the parents wasn't present, and we don't feel safe in the world, and that's why we have this negativity in our body. So those things are things to consider while we are doing our practice. And lesson number 4, for me, it's always in cycles, right? You go in deeper in your practice and stuff comes up. So lesson number 4 is not to get attached to states of mind. That's something that my teacher had to remind me again and again. We don't want to sit down to do practice just to feel good. And even if it felt good in the previous sitting, it doesn't mean that it has to be that way, right? So I cannot emphasize that enough. The times when we really do not want to do the practice is the best times to do it, because that's often is where we get the best results, so to speak. Probably results isn't the right word, but this is the best time to do the practice. I don't even take any negativity that comes up seriously anymore, because so many times, I really did not want to practice. And when I sat down to practice, it didn't feel good at all. And all of a sudden, boom, it changes. You go deeper in your practice and everything is amazing again. So do not be discouraged if you don't feel good in your practice, or if negativity comes up or thoughts come up. Those are the best opportunities to go deeper in your practice. That's lesson number 4. And there you have it. Don't get attached to your thoughts. Dig deeper if they persist, and see where the source of them are, and really just practice. There's a Zen saying that I really, really like, and I believe it's a Rinzai Zen saying, because it mentions the Kuan. It says, anything other than your koan and your breath work is a distraction. And it is so true. All during the day, we have all these different thoughts, all these different sensations. But really, what it comes down to, and something that I always remind myself of, is the practice of meditation. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, had brought me further in my life, in my experience of life, than my practice of meditation. Nothing, no intellectualizing, no overthinking, no going to different places, but the simple practice of meditation. Anyways, here you have it. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Talk to you next time.